Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the Lord protect us both, the teacher and the taught, together by revealing knowledge. May the Lord protect us both by giving us the results of knowledge. May we attain vigor together. Let what we study be invigorating, be illuminating. May we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we are studying the Upanishads in this class, and this is the Katha Upanishad we are studying. Last time, we were on chapter 2, section 1, 9th mantra. Yataschodeti suryo astain yatra chagacchati tam deva sarve arpita tadu natyeti kaschana etadvaitat. On that from which the sun rises and in which when it sets are fixed all the deities, none ever transcends that. This indeed is that. All right, so what's going on here? What we did in the last class is, in this section, Yama, the Lord of Death, the teacher, is establishing oneness. The central teaching of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, is oneness. Swami Vivekananda, in one place, he says that the only religion is oneness. So everything, all religions are trying to establish that. The only true religion is oneness. Now, how do you establish oneness? At the level of existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchidananda. At the level of appearance, there is no oneness. At the physical level, there is no oneness. At the mental level, there is no oneness. Even at the causal level, it seems to be one. Causal level, I mean what we experience in deep sleep, for example, seems to be one blankness. Your deep sleep, my deep sleep, they seem to be same. But the seeds of manifestation are there. The vasanas, the distinctions are there in a suppressed form, in, like a hibernating form. So when it comes out, you can see all the differences. The deep sleep, the causal level, is basically all differences are there, but covered up, as it were, a blanket of darkness. So there's no oneness at the level causal, subtle, and physical levels. By the way, when I say causal, subtle, and physical levels, what I mean is easily understood when we look at ourselves. When we look at ourselves, we see this physical body. So this is called the physical level, gross level, Sanskrit, sthula. Then inside, when we look inside, by inside I don't mean physically inside the body, in our experience of ourselves. When you look into yourselves, you find thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, memories. The person we think ourselves to be, the person, that is the subtle level. All thoughts are there, memories are there, desires are there, our personal history, our understanding, intellect, memory, ego, the sense of ego, that's all subtle level. Then when we look further back, we generally don't think of anything more than this. But there's a deeper level, an experience of, for example, the blankness of deep sleep, where just is the same darkness, uniform darkness. If you go into deep sleep, that is called the causal level. In Sanskrit, karana. Karana, sukshma, sthula. Subtle, causal, subtle, and gross. So I've done this mantra last time. So I'll just quickly summarize. I'm using this and all the other mantras which preceded it to summarize what goes on, what's been going on. So we have these three experiences: physical, subtle, causal. Sthula, sukshma, karana. Like this, the entire universe it also has a physical, subtle, and causal. The physical part of it is clear to us. This is what we experience. But Vedanta, in common with other Indian philosophers, most other Indian, but not all, says that there is a cosmic subtle level also. called the cosmic mind. Just as we have individual minds at a subtle level, there's a cosmic mind, which is nothing more than all minds connected together, the cosmic mind. And there's a cosmic causal level also, which is like our deep sleep, but connected together, and that is called Maya. Now, at all of these levels, there is just difference. Bodies are different from each other, minds are different from each other, personalities are different from each other. Even at the cosmic level, it's one mass of differences. What Vedanta wants to say and what Yama is teaching Nachiketa is, behind all of that is one existence, Sat, Chit, Ananda. And all of these differences are appearances which come to consciousness, in consciousness, as nothing other than consciousness. Think of variety of waves and foam and bubbles and all in what? In ocean. But they're all one mass of water. They all look different. They act differently. We have different names for them: wave, foam, surf. But they're all water. At that level, they are one. Similarly, there is one level where everything is one. The individual, physical, subtle, causal, and the cosmic, physical, subtle, causal. What is that one level? It is existence, consciousness, bliss. That sounds pretty theoretical, pretty speculative. No, it's you. In other words, Vedanta says you are that in which everything becomes one without any difference. But to understand that, of course, we have to go through the earlier stages of Vedanta, to first of all step back and see you are not a body, you are not a mind, you are not even beyond the mind, the causal state. You are the witness consciousness in which all of these appear, and these are nothing different from that consciousness. Similarly, the cosmos is also nothing different from that consciousness. And multiple names are given to this consciousness when they associate with the three levels. Three levels at the individual level, three levels at the cosmic level, three individual levels. The consciousness at the with the causal level individually is called pragya. Consciousness at the cosmic level at the causal stage is called Ishvara. Consciousness at the subtle level, individual state, is called Tejasa. Same consciousness, one consciousness at the cosmic level with all the minds together is called Hiranyagarbha. So you're learning these names. And then the same consciousness at the physical level with one body plus mind plus causal body is called Vishwa. The same consciousness with the cosmic level with all physical bodies, the entire universe as its body, is called Virat. But all of them are nothing but one existence, consciousness, bliss, which you, the real you, are. This is what has been proved till now. Or he wants to demonstrate. And he keeps saying, Etadvaitat. This is that which you asked about. Oh, Nachiketa, this was your third question. That one reality underlying the entire universe, and that's you, but the real you. Now he sums up the entire teaching in this 10th mantra. What teaching? Oneness. He says there is oneness here. It looks like many. Then he tells us the advantage of seeing oneness and the great disadvantage, indeed, the danger of seeing many. 10th mantra, very important mantra, 10th. It's often quoted in Vedanta, especially Shankaracharya loves this mantra. Yadeveha tadamutra tadanviha mrityusa mrityumapnoti yaiha naneva pashyati. What indeed is here is there. What is there is here likewise. He who sees as though there is difference here goes from death to death. Okay, that's a dire warning. So he says, what is here is there. What is there is here. Very important statement and powerful statement of oneness. What does he mean by there and here? Here means what I think of myself. This poor little fellow Sarvapriyananda. Here is the body. Here is the mind, intellect, memory, the ego, which says I Sarvapriyananda, and a name Sarvapriyananda, and my life such as it is. what I think of life and what I do in life, my successes and failures, this is who I am. Says, no, that's not who you are. What is there? There is Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss, the absolute reality of the universe. So what is, from which have come, which is in association with the causal Maya is Ishvara, in association with cosmic mind becomes Hiranyagarbha, in association with the physical universe that becomes Virat, and when associated with the cosmic level of Maya and cosmic mind and in universe is so different from me. That level, that one is omniscient. I know so little. I may run to the library every day of my life. I will still end up knowing very little. And whatever I know, I will soon forget. And that one is omniscient and doesn't forget. I think it was Eliot, so one of the most scary poems I've read, talking about the judgment day, about he who remembers. The world may forget. I may forget what I have done, but there's one who does not forget. I may explain away what I have done, but there's one who knows how to ask questions, whom you cannot explain. So the last lines of that poem were, so that is about judgment day, when you're face to face with God. What will you do on that day when you are you stand before he who knows how to ask questions? So it's scary, the whole idea of being condemned by our littleness, our sins, our miseries. But God is omniscient. God knows everything. Not only that, God is pure. God is a clean record book. And I am impure. I have got so many sins and bad karma being driven from life to life. So I am miserable. I am little knowing. I am small. I am subject to birth and death. I am being whirled around in the wheel of samsara. God is omniscient. God is not small. God is huge, is omnipresent, is bigger than the universe itself. The universe exists in God. God is pure. God is not subject to karma. God is not subject to birth and death. Even when God takes birth, it's out of his own choice as the incarnation. So there is here and there, and a great, great difference. And here comes Vedanta to say, nope. Or the Americans put it even better. Nope. N-O-P-E, nope. There is no difference. That which is there is here. That which is here is there. How is that possible? How can the microcosm and the macrocosm be the same? How can one and the infinite be the same? It is because what is appearing as one, what is appearing as infinity, what is appearing as microcosm, what is appearing as the totality, it's one. And that is existence, consciousness, bliss. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, they talk about the human bliss and the divine bliss, bliss of God. And they have a calculus of bliss. In Taittiriya Upanishad, that's the second chapter, Brahmananda Valli, the bliss of Brahman. So what could be the maximum human bliss? You are as rich as Elon Musk, and you are you have degrees from Ivy League colleges. I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what the Upanishad says. Not literally Elon Musk and Ivy League colleges. Highly educated. All the wealth of the world is there. And yes, you are young. So the Upanishad recognizes very early on, 5,000 years ago, you have to be young to be happy. It's a lot of work to be happy when you're old. So you're young. And he says, not only young, you're strong, you're vigorous, you're healthy, you're highly educated, you have all the money and power at your disposal, and you're a good-natured person. I mean, in a sense, you have a noble person, sadhu syat, you have got high and glorious ideas of doing good to others. All of that together, he says, is the maximum possible human happiness. So they define maximum possible human happiness, one. And then he says, there is more happiness possible, really. And then they go on stage after stage to define levels of happiness for various kinds of beings in various heavens. They get more happiness than human beings. Even the maximum human happiness is paltry compared to the happiness you get in various heavens. And they work your way up this divine, Jacob's ladder. You climb your way up to the highest heaven, the world Brahmaloka, where Brahma, which is the cosmic mind, Hiranyagarbha, has the maximum happiness. Maximum means in what sense? The maximum attainable, conceivable happiness in this universe. Well, how much is that? I calculated. That is 10 to the power 20 times the happiness of the maximum human happiness. Take the maximum human happiness is 1 and then add 20 zeros after that. That much more happiness you get when you are Brahma. And in between, there are enormous ranges of happiness. Having said all this magnificent kind of, science fiction, even science fiction can't wrap its heads around such an enormous conception of happiness or enormity, basically. Having said this, the Taittiriya Upanishad goes on to say, what is you, one human happiness, and what is these huge 10 to the power 20 extraordinary happiness in Brahmaloka, the highest heaven? It is one and the same. 1 is equal to 10 to the power 20. How is that possible? That's just wrong. No. It's like it is you, the Satchidananda, being reflected in various gross, subtle, causal bodies, various kinds of bodies. You get different kinds of happiness. You are there, and you have these multiple mirrors surrounding you, like a pool of water maybe. And then there is a steel plate and a dirty glass mirror and a clean glass mirror, maybe a platinum mirror. And when you look around, you get better and better reflections. Maybe a dirty pool of water will give you a vague outline of your face, like a caricature almost. A convex mirror, a concave mirror will give you twisted reflections of your face. But as you work your way up to finer and finer mirrors, when you come to, say, a polished platinum mirror or something like that, it gives you a really great reflection of your face. But if you say what is there in the dirty pool of water and in this expensive platinum mirror is one. How? It's you. Then let me see the original. I, me, the great. You can't. If you want to see yourself means what? Experience yourself means what? You are objectifying yourself. To objectify yourself, you need medium. What is the medium to objectify yourself? How can the absolute reality Brahman, how can you objectify yourself? How can you experience yourself as something out there? You need causal, subtle, and physical bodies. And the various kinds of causal, subtle, and physical bodies will give you different readings of your reality. But you are the infinite reality. So what is here is there. What is there is here. It is one and the same. What is in the worm, Swami Vivekananda says, the worm is the cousin to the Nazarene, who is the highest conception of a being you can think of. Maximum glory, purity, love is someone like Jesus Christ. And the lowest, most humble kind of creature, the worm, he says the worm is veritably the cousin to the Nazarene. Why? Because beyond both are one existence, consciousness, bliss. When Swami Vivekananda says, I am the ocean of which Buddhas and Christs are waves. What does he mean? Does he mean Vivekananda is the ocean of which Buddhas and Christs are waves? No, not at all. He means that which is here is there also, and it is one Satchidananda. I am Satchidananda. I am the absolute. But in that sense, we can all say that. Don't say it out loud. I am the ocean of which Buddhas and Christs are waves, Vivekanandas and Ramakrishnas are waves. People will think you're crazy, but it is true. It is true. This is what the radical statement that Yama makes to the little boy Nachiketa. What you see in yourself, little boy, and what you see in me, the great, glorious God of death, the extraordinary power of life and death over the universe. What you are, what I am, we are one reality. What is that? Is Nachiketa says, so I am not Nachiketa, I am actually you, the Lord of Death. No. So you are me, Nachiketa. No. Neither Nachiketa is the ultimate truth, nor Yama, the Lord of Death, is the ultimate truth. Brahman is the ultimate truth. Neither the disciple is the ultimate truth, nor the guru is the ultimate truth. Brahman is the ultimate truth. But Nachiketa and Yama both are Brahman. Guru and disciple both are Brahman. I think I'm small and miserable. That is great and glorious. No, it is one reality appearing as the small, apparently small and miserable, and as the great and glorious. That's the meaning of Tattvamasi, that thou art. And after this, it will continue to appear like this. You will still lead this life. It is like an actor who plays one role as a beggar and another role as the emperor. Now, that which is the emperor is the beggar. That which is in the beggar is in the emperor. How? It's because it's that one reality which appears as both. Both are not the ultimate truth. There's an underlying ultimate truth. There's a ground in which both meet, and that's one reality. So what is here is there, what is there is here. The meaning of the most wonderful mantra, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. That's this meaning actually. That ultimate reality, Satchidananda, is Purnam, is infinite, is whole. This here, which is appearing as this entire universe, this cosmos, is Purnam, it's perfect, it's whole. From that absolute reality, Satchidananda Brahma, this has appeared. And in this, if you recognize that absolute reality, then that absolute reality alone remains. When you say, from that absolute reality, Brahman, the world has appeared, we'll feel that, oh, so Brahman is there, not there anymore. I missed the bus. Before the world appeared, I should have caught hold of Brahman. But too late now. Now it's a world. Now I'm Sarvapriyananda. Now all this miserable stuff is there. What else can I do? No, Vedanta is telling you, Upanishad is telling you, Yama is telling you, that absolute reality is right here. You have to recognize that absolute reality in the midst of this appearance. You have to recognize the screen in the midst of various movies being played. You have to recognize the ocean in the water in the various waves that are appearing before you. That is glorious. This is small. Ignorance. What appears as glorious, I still see the glory of the glorious. I still see the smallness of the small, but I understand both are ultimately, there's a deeper truth where both are one. The story which I like about the businessman who had fallen on hard days, and he goes to a pawn shop and he says, here is my Ganesha, a golden image, and I'm going to pawn it. Please give me some money. I want a loan. So the jeweler, he weighs the Ganesha and says, I'm going to give you money at this rate. The Ganesha comes complete with a mouse. So he weighs Ganesha's mouse. So the man asks, so this is for Ganesha, how much will you give me for the mouse? And the jeweler says, the same. It's the same rate. And the man is outraged. What? Ganesh ji ka jo bhav, juha ka bhi wahi bhav. You're giving me money, you're valuing Ganesha and the mouse at the same rate. Have you no devotion, man? What kind of an atheist are you? Non-believer. And the goldsmith says, jeweler, he says, well, for you, it is Ganesha and it is a mouse. For me, it's just gold. I'm sorry, brother, but it's just gold for me. I have to weigh it that way. When it comes to worshipping, great, I'll worship Ganesha with the mantras of Ganesha. By the way, in the worship of Ganesha, there's a worship of the mouse also, but the mantras are different. So Ganesha will be worshipped in one way. My prayers will be to Ganesha, not to the mouse. But when it comes to weighing it and looking at the substance, the reality behind it, then it has to be the same rate because they're both gold. This is what Yama is telling. That which is there in the Ganesha, that which is there in the mouse, Ganesha and mouse are one and the same. It sounds outrageous, blasphemous, but it's the truth. With a particular name and a form and a particular usage, it is Ganesha. The name is Ganesha, the form is Ganesha, and you worship Ganesha in this way. And another name, mouse, and a form of the mouse and a particular usage, worship, this is the mouse. But you understand both are the same. If one does not recognize it, then what will become prominent is the name and the form and the usage. In Sanskrit, nama rupa vyavahara. One definition of Maya is nama rupa vyavahara. Name, form, and use is Maya. Even after you recognize the oneness of God and man, of Ganesha and mouse, your behavior, your activity will continue. You will continue to deal with the world as it should be. It will become easier, in fact. You'll deal with it, but your inner eye will be different, your eye of knowledge. See, with these eyes, you will continue to see the differences. But with your eye of knowledge, you see one. When it says, when you see difference, go from death to death, you have to see oneness. Doesn't mean that after Vedanta, you open your eyes, suddenly everything is a mass of light. Now you can't see people, you can't see, it's all hazy, vague. No, it doesn't mean that to be Vedanta, you must not see difference. I'll go around with closed eyes. What's happening? I'm not seeing any difference. I read, the Swami told me, Yama, the Lord of Death, says you must not see difference. The one who sees difference will go from death to death. It's worse than saying go to hell. There's at least one destination. But this is like, so Yama could have been kinder. He could have said the birth and death. You will go through many births and deaths. But he's harsh. He says you will go from death to death. Will be you lifetime after lifetime. There's suffering and suffering and suffering. Why? If you see, so simple, if you see difference. But the problem is, the moment I open my eyes, I see difference. Here, there are 73 people here. There are computers and books and tables and difference. They're all different. I'm seeing difference. So this is ignorance. These physical eyes will show you difference. That's what they're meant for. But the knowledge given by Vedanta, you'll give the eye of knowledge will open, and you will see, by that eye of knowledge, you see oneness. Even while the physical eyes are still seeing that difference. That knowledge, eye of knowledge, is opened by Vedanta, and then you see oneness. Otherwise, what happens is that story of the jeweler's son, the goldsmith's son. So the goldsmith told his son, hey, boy, go back to the house and open the vault. Get some gold from there. And the boy runs away, and then he comes back and says, Dad, there's no gold. The goldsmith is shocked. He said, I saw there was gold this morning. What do you mean? Did you look? Yes, I looked. There's no gold at all. So he goes there and opens the vault. And he says, there's gold. Here, look, the necklaces, the bracelets. The boy says, but that's a necklace. That's a bracelet. Where is gold? You taught me this is called a necklace, this is called a bracelet, this is called a ring, this is called a tiara. Where is the gold? So he is seeing that, but he's not seeing. And the father sees exactly what the son is seeing, but the father has the eye of knowledge. In all the ornaments, the eye of knowledge shows him one gold. You see 10,000 waves in the ocean with these eyes. With the eye of knowledge, you see one mass of water. You see all the pottery. And the Vedantic rishis were big on pottery because those are things you found. But with the eye of knowledge, you say all of it is just clay. Similarly, you see all people and the sky and the earth, the sun and the moon, and the mouse, and of which there are many in New York. So you see all of that. With the eye of knowledge, you know it is one consciousness, one being appearing as many. This is oneness. This is being established in oneness. And then he gives a warning. What's the harm if I see difference? Not only see difference with these eyes, if I think, no, they are different. What do you mean thinking they're different? As we think now. I am this person. Those are those persons. Some are good, some are bad, some fulfill my expectations, some are against me, and some are indifferent to me. And I want these things in my life. This is my personal history, my tragedies, my suffering. This is what, if you think, yeah, that's what I think of myself, you are in serious trouble. Yama says, if you think that's the ultimate truth about you, those are there. But if that's, you think that's what you really are, mrityu sa mrityum apnoti. that one goes from death to death. Why? Why? Just by seeing that I am Brahman with the eye of knowledge, I will not go from death to death. And by seeing myself as a little person and go from death to death. Literally, you are saying that if I see myself as a limited being, why will I die? A limited being is someone who's limited in time, who is born and who dies. You are saying I am the one who dies. Why will I suffer? Why will I be miserable if I see myself, if I see difference? Difference means you are cutting yourself from others and saying, I am this much, those are different. Then you're subject to ups and downs. I am this little mind. The mind will go through miseries and pleasures and pains. And then you say it is, I am miserable. I am dissatisfied. But if I see that as one constant mass of awareness, being, consciousness, if I know that I am in depth, I am that already, then whatever happens at the level of body, sthula, whatever happens at the level of mind, sukshma, and nothing happens at the level of the karana, the causal, I am the same, that much I know. How do I know? By the eye of knowledge. Not just because I've read it, it's clear to me. Whether a comedy is played or a tragedy is played on the cinema screen of life, I know it's all right. The physical eyes are showing disaster, a flood, earthquake, war. It's terrible. But your eye of knowledge is telling you, this is a movie. It's all right. Which is more powerful? Will you say, no, the movie, that idea, that's philosophy, that's theoretical. And I'm actually seeing so much suffering. How can you deny it? No, we don't do that. The eye of knowledge is so powerful. It overrides our physical eyes. It tells me it's all right. It's supposed to be like this. It's a movie. Even when you get upset, isn't it? To enjoy a movie, really, you have to be able to be miserable, to be sad, to laugh, to be angry. Those are the emotions evoked. If you don't react emotionally to a movie, you're not having an aesthetic experience. So you must be able to enjoy it, even while angry, even while upset, even while crying. You know it's all right. Literally like that in this world where 5 senses are playing for you, the multi-sensory movie. The eye of knowledge shows you the background, only it's not a background out there. It's you are the background. It's called Chid Darpana, the mirror of consciousness. You are the consciousness, the screen on which this movie of life is being played out. And the eye of knowledge tells you at that level, it's fine. At the level of the movie, there are things to be done. There are actions to be taken. There are appropriate and inappropriate reactions. All of that we must learn. The underlying oneness shows you, you are fine. And he says, Mrityu samrityum apnoti ya iha naneva pashyati. Goes from death to death, the one, iha, in this world, in this life, who sees as if many. Emphasizing again, even if, though it looks like many, Brahman, the one mass of existence, consciousness, bliss, is still very much here. That is what this is, what we are experiencing. Pashyati, sees the eye of knowledge. I should read out to you the Sanskrit original, so stirring, of Shankara's commentary. So Shankara says, this is one of his favorite verses, mantras. Yadeveha karya karana upadhi samanvitam samsara dharmavad avabhasamanam avivekinam tade. Okay, so what here? Surrounded by the upadhis. I will not explain the term upadhi, adjuncts basically. Surrounded by the upadhis of body here, mind, which appears as samsara dharmavat, has the attributes of samsara, born, aging. What is born and aging? Body. Miserable, happy. What is miserable and happy? Mind. And I, associated with all of this, I seem to have it. I am born, I age, I'm going to die. I am happy, I am delighted, and I'm very satisfied. Next moment, quite dissatisfied with everything. You see the madness of it. What are you holding on to? What's dragging you like a helpless, puppet through ups and downs? The mind. We have surrounded ourselves with these things, and we think, I have got samsara dharma, the characteristics of samsara. Who thinks like this? Avivekina, those who do not have viveka, discernment between eternal, non-eternal, atma, anatma, self, not self, Brahman, appearance, reality, appearance. Those who don't discern, those who don't have, like the child who can't separate gold from the ornaments. Tadeva, this very one, right now, you. Swatmastam amutra nitya vijnana ghana swabhavam sarva samsara dharma vajjitam brahma. This very one, right now, is that, he says, nitya vijnana ghana, eternal consciousness only. Consciousness only. Vijnana ghana means there is no space for anything. One sadhu in Uttarakhand nicely would say, Thasaathas bharpur, jyokateo brahma. This entire universe is packed solid with Brahman. There is no space for a universe. Where is the space for a body, for a mind, for a thought, for misery, for happiness, for individual concerns? There's no space. It's all packed. Why? Here's the body. It's all literally packed with existence, consciousness, bliss. Every particle of this universe radiates, is shining with existence, consciousness, bliss. For whom? Viveki, the one who can discern. For the person who can see the difference between ornament and gold. Person who understands the difference between movie screen and movie. For that person. Every bit of that horror movie is full of that screen where there's no horror at all, but it's perfectly all right. Then he says, Tatraivam sati upadhi swabhava bheda drishti lakshanaya avidyaya mohitassan. So what happens is, we look at the differences, as I said, at the physical level, subtle level, causal level, only difference. You see difference all around you. Look, Vedanta at no point denies this difference. Without this difference, movie is not possible. If everybody in the movie looks alike, what happened? We are all Brahman. It will be a most boring movie. So everybody has the same lines to say. Everybody has the same action. No, have as much difference as you like, as much variety as you like, as much ups and downs as you like, as long as you know it's all right, it's Brahman. So he says, because of the varieties, upadhi swabhavat bheda drishti, because of the nature of these adjuncts, bodies and minds, and the physical and the subtle and the causal, the varieties are presented by this. But this is not the problem. The variety can exist. And if it's a movie, you can enjoy the movie because of the variety. But the problem is avidyaya mohitasan, deluded by ignorance. If you remember Vedanta Sara, we said Maya has two powers. Vikshepa Shakti, Avarana Shakti. Maya projects variety and then hides the underlying oneness. So Maya projecting variety is this, the movie of the universe. Great, there's no problem actually. The real problem is it hides the underlying unity. It hides that Brahman behind everything. It hides Brahman that you are. It hides the absolute truth. And that hiding the absolute truth is not actually a fault of Maya. It's our ignorance. And that can be removed by Vedanta. Deluded by ignorance, we think these are real. Iha brahmani ananabhute parasmad anyoham matyo anyat param brahmahiti. Where there is no difference, one existence, consciousness, bliss, one, the absolute reality. I am different, and the ultimate reality is different from me. This is what we feel. This is seeing difference. You should not see this. Na pashyet. Do not see it. See means again, eye of knowledge. I physicalize it, you're forced to see this. What should you see? What should be our understanding when we are experiencing life here? He says, Vijnana ekarasam nairantaryena akashavat paripurnam Brahmaivasmiti pashyet. So beautiful. He says, see this, Vijnana Ekarasam, one uniform consciousness. In misery, in happiness, in understanding, in not understanding, in the most brilliant professor, in the most illiterate person, in all of that, one consciousness. See these differences. You see, if consciousness is the same, how can there be high and low? How can there someone get a Nobel Prize, and how can someone be, an illiterate person drop out from a school? Illiterate person drop out from a school, difference in mind, subtle body. Nobel Prize winning, brilliant, it's a brilliant mind. The book was there, a beautiful mind. The movie was there, beautiful mind. They got it right. It's a beautiful mind. But beyond that is even more beautiful consciousness, which is the same everywhere. How is it same? Akashavat paripurnam, as space everywhere. This consciousness is like space. It's called Chidakasha, the space, the sky of consciousness, the sky of awareness. Above, below, to the side, to the left and the right, in the front and the back, all around you, inside you, outside you, there's one limitless sky of consciousness. Oh, good. What about me? Brahmaivaham asmiti. I am that Brahman. Then what is this body, this mind, this person? It is like a pot, again a pot, in the sky. Outside, vast sky. Inside, sky. But inside and outside are the same limitless sky. The pot just seems to be an appearance. And that also is nothing but an appearance in the sky. You are the sky of consciousness. Or a wave in the ocean. Outside the wave water, inside the wave water. In fact, the boundary between the wave and everything else is also water. Limitless water. You are that limitless ocean, that water. See this. Then you are at peace. In the next mantra continues the same theme. Oh, one more thing. What is here is there also. So what is in the Brahmagyani, enlightened guru, the enlightened master, and in me, the unenlightened student, is one and the same. I remember one of my brother monks. He told me the story about Swami Ranganathanandaji, one of the great masters of our, he was the 13th president of our order, the great Vedanta teacher. So once, this, my friend, he was a novice, and Swami Ranganathananda, who was the vice president of our order at that time, this was in the late 90s, 2000, about 21 years ago, was visiting the main monastery in Belur, and all the monks went to bow down to him. He used to stay in the room next to the room where Swami Vivekananda lived 100 years ago. So I still remember that room vividly, and going to meet Ranganathanji there, bowing down to him. So my friend also went. And when he went, he was late. Everybody else had left. So my friend went and bowed down to him. And Swami Ranganathanji was lying down. He looked at him and he said about Brahman, that that's our real nature. And my friend said to him, but Swami, I really don't understand it. And the Swami, he looked up at him, straight into his eyes. He says, that does not matter. What is here, what I am, that you are too. It is the same. Now, it's just the repetition of this mantra here. But my friend said, when he looked at me with that force in his eyes, and he said that emphatically, something swept over me. And my reaction was fear. I became terribly scared. I became very scared. My knees started trembling, he said. And I ran away from that room. He said, I know the staircase down. He said, I ran away from that room and ran down the staircase. And he says, and he told me this years after Swami Ranganathanji had passed. He said, perhaps I missed my chance. I missed the bus. He was trying to transmit something to me. I said, no, it has been done. He has told you the reality, and it will work in your mind. until it comes to fruition. It's literally the Mahavakya. Tat Tvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. That's what he told you. Notice the radical nature of Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. It works both ways. One way is, who am I? I am not body. I am not mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the ego. I am Brahman. So that's this way. I am nothing but Brahman. Nothing means not body, mind. These are appearances. I'm just Brahman. Nothing else, just Brahman. It works the other way around also. What is Brahman? It is nothing but you. You are nothing but Brahman, and there is no Brahman but you. Which means Vishnu, Devi, God, Allah, all of that ultimately is nothing but you. Notice the very radical nature of the statement when it works both ways. I am Brahman means I am nothing but Brahman, not body, mind. And Brahman is I. It means there is no God, there is no, those things apart from the divinity, apart from the real you. So are you denying that there is no God? No, 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 no. At the relative level, universe, God, all of the, causal level, subtle level, physical level, there is God and cosmic mind, all of that. But at the deepest level, your real nature, you and God are one reality. There's no God but you, and you are nothing but God. When you say no God but me, so I always knew I, Sarvapriyananda, was God. No, 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 no. You are not Sarvapriyananda. You say you are God, it means you are nothing but God. You are not Sarvapriyananda, you are God. And God is nothing but you does not mean God is Sarvapriyananda. God is nothing but God. Then the next one. I think I'll leave it. Just read it and leave it because there's something new being said. A lot of it is repetition of the 10th one, but there's something new is being said. Manase vedam aptavyam neha nanasti kinchana mrityu samrityum gacchati ya iha naneva pashyati. This is to be attained through the mind indeed. There is no diversity here whatsoever. He who sees as though there is difference here goes from death to death. So there is basically the same thing is repeating. One goes from death to death who sees difference here. Who sees difference means thinks it's the difference he sees is real. This is the ultimate truth. But the interesting thing here is Manase vedam aptavyam. This knowledge, I am Brahman, is to be attained through the mind only. And so this throws up an interesting question. We keep saying that it is beyond the mind. And here it says, how can you attain it through the mind? Not only that, we say it cannot be thought of by the mind. We say beyond mind, beyond speech. And here it says only by the mind, not only through the mind only it can be attained. So what does it mean? Can it be attained through the mind? Is it attainable through mind or not attainable? And these opposite statements are there. Kena Upanishad says, Yan manasana manute yena hurmano matam tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. It says, that which the mind cannot conceive of, but by which the mind conceives of everything. And you know what is it? It's consciousness. It's like a riddle. Mind cannot objectify consciousness, but consciousness illuminates the mind. Consciousness is the witness of the mind. Because of the presence of consciousness, you have experience of thinking, understanding, remembering. That which the mind cannot objectify and that which illumines the mind, you know that as Brahman. But here it says just the opposite. By the mind alone it is to be known. There it says manasana manute, which cannot be thought of by the mind. It says here only by the mind it can be thought of or it can be known. So what does it mean? There are 3 levels of understanding this. Multiple ways you can say. The simplest, most direct thing Sri Ramakrishna has said, and Shankaracharya also has said, by the mind alone means by the purified mind. Sri Ramakrishna says, Shuddha moner gochar. The Atman can be realized by the purified mind. What do you mean by the purified mind? By the purified mind means by the mind which has the 4-fold qualifications. Clarity, the discernment between eternal and non-eternal. The dispassion for the non-eternal. And then, if you don't have dispassion for things in the world, you can't be equal to them. If you're not equal, you will see difference. You see, again, the problem will come. So dispassion makes you equal to everything. And then the vairagya, dispassion. Then the sixfold disciplines, the six treasures. You know them, what they are. And then the last one, the intense desire for freedom. So your project now becomes freedom from samsara. So with these qualities, the mind is purified. The mind is not purified, then it will not realize. If the mind is purified, it will be able to realize. So that's one meaning, by the mind alone. By what kind of mind? What kind of mind can profitably undertake Vedantic inquiry? A purified mind. Purified mind means what exactly? It means these fourfold qualities, to whatever extent. Then a deeper meaning would be, okay, so I'll just leave it at that. The two more levels, which becomes more and more progressively complex, I'll take up later. Let me just look at the comments and questions today. Rick says, is it correct to say that there are not different physical, subtle, and causal levels for individual cosmos, but that our individual experience of these levels is just a limited version of the cosmic experience of these levels due to the limitations of the human mind-body system? True, but look at the question. The moment you say human mind-body system, there is a clear demarcation. Here is a human mind-body system. So it feels like an individual. And that's the purpose of the ego, for example. The purpose of the ego is to appropriate for itself the activities and resources of one body and make you feel like one being. In some mystical experiences, one can expand beyond that and still feel your oneness with all. So there seems to be many units. And beyond that, there seems to be an oceanic oneness. But beyond that is Brahman, which is neither microcosm nor macrocosm, neither individual nor total. It's like waves, ocean, water. Waves individual, ocean total, waves microcosm, ocean macrocosm. But water is not individual or total. Well, water is not microcosm or macrocosm, but both microcosm and macrocosm, waves and ocean, depend on the water. But the water doesn't depend on anything. Similarly, there are individuals, there is a totality. You are one being, Jiva, and Paramatma is everything. God is everything, individual and cosmic. But beyond individual and beyond cosmic is the absolute reality, Brahman, which is your real nature. Neela Vora says, ordinarily the use of the word Vishwa implies physical world as opposed to the explanation of Vishwa as associated with individual. That is true. But the word Vishwa in Vedic sense has many uses, like Vishve Deva, the deities. Rodrigo, oh my soul, be prepared for the coming of the stranger, be prepared for him who knows how to ask questions. The Rock by T.S. Eliot. Good. Thank you for the reference. Neela Vora says there's some concept of Indra's net, is what is meant by the same being reflected in multiple levels. That's a Buddhist conception, yes. The net of Indra. Isn't callousness a real danger in Vedanta? Ignorance is really a sad thing. It might be a source of all sadness. Yes. If Maya veils, can it also reveal? Yes, you're right. Gloria asks, if Maya veils, can it also reveal? It can reveal. How does it reveal? Here, it's revealing it now. We're attending Vedanta class. Yes. So it is a very ancient idea of Maya. In Sankhya philosophy, Maya is called Prakriti. And Prakriti does two things for us. We are like the children who was taken care of by the old mother. And so that's actually an example used in a very ancient text called Sankhya Karika. Prakriti is like an old mother who carries her babies across the terrible desert of samsara, the desert sands. She picks up each one of us and carries us to safety, which is liberation. So she does two things. She gives us bhoga, which means experience. Experience of what? Pleasure and pain. Why? Because we want it. And then she gives us apavarga. These are old, very ancient terms for freedom. Apavarga. What does that mean? Liberation from limited existence. Both are given by Prakriti. And that idea has come over to Maya. Sri Ramakrishna put it this way: Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. Avidya Maya is ignorance, but ignorance sounds like pretty academic, like you're ignorant. He makes it more vivid. my son or daughter, my house, my money, my nephew. That is ignorance. And then what is knowledge? That all are my children. My Gopala is in everybody. That is knowledge. So Vidya Maya, that's also within Maya. You're still conceiving, making a practice of it, doing something. So that's Vidya Maya. This the other one is Avidya Maya. Avidya, the Maya of ignorance, traps us further and further in samsara. Vidya Maya, hold on to God, see God everywhere. That will free you from samsara eventually. Neela ji asks, Swamiji, sorry to ask a very basic question. Basic question is most important and most difficult to answer also. Is our ignorance and Maya two different things, or ignorance caused by Maya? You see here why Vedanta Sar is useful. Those who attended Vedanta Sar classes, you would know the clear definitions of Maya, of ignorance. So all our ignorance, yours, mine, everybody's, is a part of Maya. It's a power of Maya. And in fact, it is constitutive of Maya. Our causal bodies make up the totality, which is called Maya. So our ignorances specifically are due to the power of Maya called Avarana Shakti, is the veiling power of Maya. Rick says, in Mantra 11, is mind synonymous with subtle intellect? Yes, yes, of course. Here mind means everything. Mind, intellect, specifically intellect, because Katha Upanishad has already earlier said that the highest reality is seen by the purified and sharpened intellect. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya, sukshmaya, sukshmadarshibhihi. Katha Upanishad has said. Then Sangeeta asks, so what's that when put together ultimately? In the example that you are God and you're not Sarvapriyananda, while mind, Maya, tends to make you believe the other way around. True, ignorance makes us think that I am only Sarvapriyananda, but I am existence, consciousness, bliss. Now still Sarvapriyananda appears. I am the actor and I have to play this role. Fine, there's no problem there. But if I'm trapped in the role and I do not know I'm an actor, if I'm trapped in Sarvapriyananda and I do not know that I am the infinite Brahman, then problem arises, because I see I am a limited being. Here is a limited being. There is a glorious being. That we are one and the same, that does not seem clear to me. Shiva Priya says, Brahmajnani sees no difference. Then Brahma is beyond mind. Don't say Brahma. There's a difference between Brahma and Brahman. Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. It's the highest deity, a god. But Brahman is existence, consciousness. Just say Atman, self, is beyond mind, but realize it through mind. When then a Brahmajnani reaches Brahman, not reaches, realizes that I am Brahman, then is stay with it or come back with body and mind, does not see the difference. Tell me. Now we have explained it enough. When the actor realizes that I am an actor, or actor knows I'm an actor, does he stay with the character or come back? He can play the character to the hilt, can totally forget that I'm an actor and happily play the character. He must forget that I'm an actor in order to play the role very correctly. There's no problem. Once you realize that the necklace and the bracelet and the ring are all made of gold, will they still remain as necklace, bracelet, or ring? Certainly. What difference will there be? Or will the necklaces, bracelets, and ring all melt into one indistinguishable mass of gold? No, no need. When you realize you're Brahman, see, you think that you're realizing Brahman is like, I'm attaining Brahman. Do you come back? But there's no going and coming back. You have not gone anywhere. You're right there. If you realize suddenly that I am Shiva Priya, I have realized. Now, will you come back to this? What will you come back anywhere? Go anywhere? You've not gone anywhere. Where will you come back from? Okay. Then Prabir Babu, you've raised your hand.
Yes, Maharaj Pranam. I have a question. This is also a basic question, and you may have answered it many times. So we say that the dreams appear in the mind, but for waking world, we say that it appears in consciousness.
But
now,
dreams and mind both appear in consciousness. Waking world and mind both appear in consciousness. Dreams also appear in consciousness ultimately.
But we say that the waking world is appearing in consciousness. A lot of your talks, you say that appearing in consciousness. You don't say it's you.
So you have you want me to clarify?
Yes, please.
All right. The waking world appears to the mind, working through the sense organs, contacting an external world. That's our definition of waking, isn't it? I am this person. Through my eyes, I see world outside. Through my ears, I hear sounds, smell, taste, touch, and then with my mind, I think about these things. And this is what I considered my waking. Now, in the dream, what happens? I forget all this because I fall asleep. So my senses lose contact with the world outside. I also forget that I'm sleeping. Only the mind is functional, semi-functional, and it generates dreams in the mind. Then we go into a deep sleep where there's no dream, there is no sensory activity, just a blank. This is what we think of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Using these, Advaita Vedanta wants to show all of these are appearances and disappearances in consciousness. So when I say the waking world is appearing in consciousness, what I mean, first of all, take an absolutely common sense view of the waking world. Here is a world which I am seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching through sense organs and mind. Now, this mind, sense organ, body, world, all are appearing in consciousness. To explain that, the dream example is used. In the dream, you seem to have a body, you seem to have a world, you seem to be seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, but there is no world there. It is an imagination. There is no body there. It's an imagination. There's really no, what do you mean by seeing? Using eyes. But you're not using eyes there. Your eyes are, physical eyes are closed here. The whole thing is imagined in the mind. Just as the whole thing, subject, object, individual and world are imagined in the dream by the mind. They're nothing but the mind. Similarly, it's not mind here. In consciousness alone, this entire world and the body and the mind and the senses and activities are imagined. But what about the dream? That is also in consciousness. Not only the waking is imagined in consciousness, waker and the waker's world and the whole waking avastha is an appearance in consciousness. The state of waking. State of waking is two things, you the waker and your world. All of it is appearing in consciousness. Dream, there's a dream state. And in the dream state, you have a person in the dream and a world in the dream. And yes, from the waker's perspective, both are appearing in the mind of the dreamer. But that mind also is appearing in consciousness. And in deep sleep, blank. That blank is also appearing in consciousness. And the cycle between blank and dream and waking and dream and blank, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and all of it is the underlying one consciousness. And whatever you experience in these states, they're nothing other than that one consciousness.
Thank you, thank you.
That one consciousness is Turiya. Somebody is asking, is it possible to get anubhuti of Ishvara? In Advaita Vedanta, no. Because you, the consciousness, through the upadhi, the adjuncts of Maya, becomes Ishvara. But you, the consciousness, through the upadhi, the individual ignorance, our causal body, becomes the individual being. Now, when you say, is it possible to get the experience of Ishvara? What you mean is, can I, Mr. X or Mrs. Y, can I get the experience of God? How God experiences the universe? That's what you really mean. No. Because who is I in your, can I experience? Is the I Mr. X or Mrs. Y? In that case, you have already assumed individual body, individual mind, and individual causal body. Then you are an individual. But beyond that, you are pure consciousness. But then the answer is yes, you can experience, have the experience of Ishvara. Oh, how? You are experiencing the experience of Ishvara right now. What is Ishvara? Consciousness limited in one, through Maya, experiencing the whole world. That's what Ishvara is doing, and you are the consciousness there. Then actually your question is, why don't I feel it? But then again, you have to ask, who is this I who is asking the question? It's already consciousness limited by one mind. It wants to drag that experience to one mind and experience it in one mind. That's what you're asking. It's like asking, so if the ocean is, if the tsunami wave is water and I am water, can I experience being a tsunami wave? I'm a little wave and that's a tsunami wave. Can I experience being a tsunami wave? Nope. But you said we are the same. Oh, as water, huh? As water, you are experiencing tsunami wave already. You don't have to do anything. You are not seeing yourself as water. You're seeing yourself as a little wave and you want to be the big wave. There lies all problem. There lies all problem. All right, so this is one answer, but there's a different answer given by Kashmiri Shaivism, which would give you an honest, straightforward yes. Vedanta gives you a slightly, it asks, like Ramana Maharshi, can I experience the Ishvara's experience? Who is that I? If you clarify that, you will not ask this question. But Kashmiri Shaivism says yes, yes. Shiva is the ultimate reality of this universe, and like Ishvara, creator, preserver, destroyer of the universe. And you can have experience of Shiva. It's called Purna Hanta, the cosmic eye. So there are practices and some of the highest levels of realization. They say you can have an Ishvara's experience. So that's from but that you notice is not a natural thing. That requires sadhana, and will get specific experiences of, like standing on a mountaintop and seeing everything all around. But that's not the natural state of the individual jiva. Shiva Priya, but Brahmagyan is not getting into samadhi state. It's just the knowledge, not just the knowledge. It is the knowledge, most important. Compared to that knowledge, you can say it's not just samadhi or just a theory of knowledge and acting accordingly, but trying to implement it as far as I know the facts that I am Brahman. No. It's not a theory of knowledge. It's not having read this. I've heard it all. Yama has told me, I've read it. Swami has given me the talk. Now I must try to behave like Brahman. That's a good practice, but this is not what is meant. Realizing Brahman, there is a specific breakthrough, a clarity which will come. It is like waking up from a dream. So in the dream, if somebody tells me, look, this is a dream, and I get a whole class on what a dream is, now I know what is a dream. I'm still dreaming. So this is what is meant by waking? No, you haven't woken up yet. You have heard all that. Then the example of seeing the needle, I gave there's a needle on the mountaintop. You get a set of instructions to take you to the needle. Climb on this side of the mountain, reach that huge boulder. Near that boulder, you see that tree, which looks so tiny from here. That's a big tree. On this side of the tree, there'll be the main root. Follow that root to the tip of the root. On the right side of the root, look carefully, get down on your hands and knees, look carefully. You will see the shining needle. Now, the last instruction is look carefully, you will see the shining needle. That's not enough. After that, you need to see with your own eyes. The last instruction is you are Brahman. It is one reality. Don't see difference. This is the last instruction, like see the needle. But you haven't seen it yet. You have to still see it with your eyes. That clarity must come. It's a breakthrough. It's not just, I have understood it, now you're supposed to live like that. Is that Vedanta? No. It's an important question that she has asked. If you try to live like that, it will be a struggle, and it's a good practice, but that's not yet Brahmagyani. So they're very clear. Brahmagyani is not having read the Vedanta books or heard the classes. After reading, hearing, reflecting upon it, staying with it, it should become a clarity, a living clarity for you. Then you don't need the Vedanta books after that. All right, very good. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.